Welcome to Beyond Tradition, where we talk about the nitty-gritty details of entrepreneurship, a lot of the stuff that most people won't talk about. And we'll be covering everything from financials to the relationship aspect to mental health, all of it. So tune in. My name is Shelby, and this is Therese.
Hey.
I knew I was going to bump my mic.
Hey, it's going to happen. That's why I'm putting my hands like a lady on my lap.
Right,
But it's going to happen as well. So
I
no
talk with my
worries.
hands, so I'm going to knock the shit out of this.
It's absolutely fine. I'm
Okay.
like staring at it like it's going to attack me. So no worries.
Awesome. Well, do you want to introduce yourself, kind of go into your background?
Sure. Yes. Okay. So my name is Therese. I'm an entrepreneur. I currently own a business consulting firm, and I specialize in helping small contractors or small businesses that are contractors somewhere between like 5 and 50 employees. I just help them with employee training, employee management, a lot of like the background stuff, some project management,
Mhm.
more of the operations, basically, just to help contractors streamline what they're doing for their businesses. So that, and I fell into this. I used to own a construction company, an underground utility company, sold it 2 years ago, and word of mouth got around. And contractors were just reaching out for help. And so, yeah, here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am today.
And that's how we met.
Yes, exactly. That is how we met.
Networking.
Yep.
And then I would say that I utilize you for business consulting.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
They turn from acquaintance to client to friend to best friend.
Best friends
so now here we are, and
vacationing together.
Yes, and wanting to tell our story to help other aspiring entrepreneurs or people that already own their own businesses and then are just struggling to, just the struggles of it. There's a lot of struggles in owning your own business. So,
and, honestly, when we were coming up with this idea and kind of nailing down our focus, it was the discussion of who is our target market? Is it truly an entrepreneur? And obviously yes, but it's also for the people who are toying with the idea of entrepreneurship. It's for the partners of entrepreneurs.
For sure. The ones that aren't in the business, but are keeping the household steady, and the behind the scenes person that's encouraging that person to follow their dreams.
Yeah.
That's an important player in this equation, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, all right, your turn. Introduction, please.
Introduction. Shelby Lofton. Currently own Lofton Plumbing. 50-50 with the husband. So he holds the license, but I handle all of the business side of things. So every department, all of the meetings. I also have my real estate license. That's just a fun thing for me now. I did do that very seriously through 2021 and 2022, but that's more now helping friends and family, essentially. Diagnosed ADHD or neurodivergent, neurospicy, whatever you want to call it. So now taking on this podcast.
Yes.
Which I'm excited for.
Me too.
Narrating an audiobook.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. We'll bring that up later.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. But mom.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Number 2. We're going to have to count how many times I hit these things.
2.
Number 2.
Turning into a game.
Both moms.
Whoever
yes.
Count wins.
I'm gonna win.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, both moms.
Both moms.
Yep.
So business owner, mother, wife, now podcast. Lots and lots of hats. Too many hats, of course. I tend to do this to myself, but
me too. It's okay. It's worth it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Just got Invisalign. Let me just talk about this because it is bugging me to death. And I knew what Invisalign was like in general, right? Had an idea. Retainers, cool. Was not told about these buttons or didn't realize the buttons. So this is making me crazy. I'll just tell you that. This is my second day. Had to take my retainers out to shoot. I can't do it. So we're doing handling that now.
Yeah.
Of course I do that. But that's me. That's right.
Yeah,
everything
definitely.
all at once. So
For
narrating a book this week, Invisalign this week, shooting a podcast this week.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything about my
I feel like you
personality.
need 2 more things. Round it out. Round out the whole hand.
Right. Great.
You're welcome.
So where were you originally from?
I am originally from New York, so you will hear my New York come out every once in a while. I would apologize, but I won't. It is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
And then came to Florida when my parents moved here when I was younger, and then
Mhm.
grew up on the Gulf Coast, went to school on the East Coast, now back on the Gulf Coast.
Awesome.
So, what about you?
Oklahoma originally, born and raised. Little town outside of Tulsa, Claremore, Oklahoma. Raised on technically a hobby farm, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
But grandma, grandpa had lots of cows. We had, I would say at the most at one point in time, probably 8 to 10 cows that we ran. Lots of pasture, lots of chasing cows. We did
I bet.
a pig, we
Yeah.
did horses. One of my core memories is my dad breaking a new quarter horse. And I may have told you the story once before, but
It's so good.
I tell you, it was
It's so
like
good.
what I had to be the 90s, early 90s, and the big old brick gray phones.
Oh, yeah.
And
We
I
all
remember
wanted
him.
one.
Yeah, he handed that to me and he said, if I fall off this horse, dial 911. And I said, all right, cool, Dad. And just watched him get wrecked by this horse. He never fell off. I didn't have to call 911. Was an athlete throughout. I think that's something we share too.
Yeah.
Both athletes.
Yeah.
Technically I danced until I was 8, but then it was soccer and then it was track and basketball and volleyball.
And then back to soccer.
And then back to soccer.
It always comes back to soccer.
It unfortunately does. Was a goalie.
Me too.
Yeah. Got my teeth knocked out.
I did not, thank goodness.
Yeah.
No.
College, ORU.
Yeah.
That was traumatic in itself.
It's fine. That's for another day.
That's a whole can of worms we can open later.
Later down the road.
Yeah, then moved here. So, I actually married my husband super, super early. So we started dating. I knew him in the 6th grade. We did not date. We were not anything high school
Crazy.
sweethearts, nothing like that. I actually wouldn't give him the time of day.
That's mean.
Well, not nice.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
At least you're honest.
I will say though, if I ever saw him randomly in town, I would say hi to him. And I was like, I don't understand that. But there'd always been some kind of pull between us. Or there's always been a string, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
But we started dating actually 2 weeks after I graduated from high school. Yeah. And then married 2 years later. So I was 20, not able to drink when I got married.
That
But
must have been an interesting wedding.
I still drank.
No.
Two
21.
shots.
21 is the age.
Yeah. So been married since 20. I'm 37 now. So 17 years,
It's a long
19 years
time.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost half your life.
Yeah.
You're welcome for that.
Thanks.
Little tidbit. Okay, so what made you guys move to Florida?
Oh, man. Okay. So we were both working for other people. I had been at my job 7 years at that point. He had been with his company, I think 10 years at that point. We did not own businesses in Oklahoma. A lot of people asked that. We didn't. Honestly, we started traveling. So it was 2012. We took our
Okay, nice.
first trip.
Yeah.
My dad had taken us as kids kind of, to other states, California, Florida, but like we didn't really travel. But
Yeah.
in 2012, it was our very first like international trip. And that changed the trajectory of my life 100%. I became obsessed with traveling and I kept ending up in Florida. So
It's a great state.
it happens. And I remember, I'd gone twice in 1 year and then I went, I think 6 times in 1 year. And it was everywhere from like Destin, Clearwater,
Okay, yeah.
Naples,
You
Fort
You saw the
Lauderdale.
whole state.
I saw everything.
Yeah, okay.
And every time I flew home to Oklahoma, I was genuinely bummed. Like genuinely did not want to go home. And I didn't
Yeah.
get that feeling other places. So that
Yeah.
was kind of the moment there for me where I was like, why am I in Oklahoma? What And I don't know if this is when my frontal lobe developed because they say that happens at 25.
Yeah, true. Very true.
But I do remember a distinct moment where I was in the kitchen looking around and I said, like, is this it?
Yeah.
This is life for the rest of my life. This is life. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
working for someone else,
Yeah.
2 weeks of vacation a year, living for the weekends, buying all the stuff,
Yep.
having your 2.4 kids.
Yeah.
But this is it.
I think every entrepreneur hits that. I think it's one of those things you kind of look around and you're like, huh?
Huh?
You're like, oh, okay. You're like, I got to do something
This can't
else.
be
Yeah.
it.
There's
That's
like this burning desire to be like, this is not it for me.
no,
So,
I was
yeah.
at that point suffocated,
Yeah.
even with the thought of it. And I said, I want to move to Florida. Being completely transparent. Trevor and I were going through a lot of stuff, 2014, 2015, 2016. We had separated at one point, and not in a way that anybody had ever separated or that I'd ever heard of before, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we still dated.
You
So
were just spicing things up
yeah.
again. That's all. I feel
Like
like
we didn't
relationships hit those lulls and it
yeah.
was, a little time away and then,
Yeah.
trying to rekindle. So it's nice you guys
And
found each other again.
that's really what
That's
it
the important
was.
part.
Yeah. Being separated, living separately.
Yeah.
But we dated. We went to counseling, lots and lots of counseling. But I remember telling him, kind of in all of that, I'm moving to Florida.
That's awesome. You're like, are you coming? Are you
No.
staying?
I was
Like,
one of
either way, I
yeah.
just need to know.
I was the kind of catalyst there, but I was like, I'm moving to Florida. And he's
Okay.
like, no, you're not. I said, I'm moving to Florida with or without you.
Okay.
But I'm telling you that I'm moving there.
Yeah.
He goes, well, if you're going, I'm going. And that is not, again, not the reason why we
No, yeah.
reconciled, but
That's fun.
people ask again that question, why'd you come to Florida? Honestly, for fun,
Yeah,
to get out of Oklahoma.
for sure. I feel like I've traveled all over the US
Mhm.
and spent time in other places, and I'm always drawn back
Yeah.
to here.
Yeah.
Anywhere here, honestly. Anywhere. I mean, I like the Gulf Coast better. East Coast is
Agreed.
a little rowdy, but
That's a whole
yeah.
other culture,
Yes,
beast,
literally.
state.
You
Like
go through it. There's one culture on the East Coast, there's a culture in the middle of the state, and there's a culture on the West Coast.
That's fair.
Like
Fair
3
point.
countries smushed into a little peninsula.
Yeah.
It's great. So, yeah.
Absolutely true. But yeah, it was for fun. So that's our story, is jumping.
Yeah.
We quit our jobs. We moved here. No family, no friends, no jobs.
But you're an inspiration. You can show that it's done. You know what
You
I
can
mean?
do it.
You can definitely do it. Again, I think it's the grit, the determination, and then just deciding like
Mm,
we're gonna do this. We're not gonna give up, and
that,
we're gonna keep going.
yeah, we actually have an
Blood,
inside.
sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears is right. But we actually joke that we're too stupid to quit. And luckily,
Yeah, that's the
it's
only way. I feel like if that doesn't resonate with you as an entrepreneur, I feel like maybe owning your own business isn't for you, because
right.
I feel like we're all too stupid to quit because we're like, no, we got this.
Yeah. No, we
No
got
matter
it.
what. Yeah.
We'll figure it
My
out.
turn. I
Two?
got it. Yeah. 2 times.
We're even.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I'm trying to keep my hands down.
same. That's why I'm doing that.
All these awkward poses.
I know. So, yeah, that was 2018. And
Okay.
that we formed the business. Like, I filed our LLC operating agreement, got our licenses. I will say the licensing process, if anybody wants to talk about that in Florida, is so backwards when it comes to contractors or plumbing trades, or any trades, I should say.
Yes. Both of us coming or being in the construction industry, it is. We should do a whole episode on
Yeah. Like,
like,
explain
yeah, an easier route than
the hardest thing that we had to deal with, quite honestly, was was it showing a bond and
Mhm.
having insurance?
Mhm.
And I'm shopping for insurance, and they're like, well, what are your sales? I don't have sales.
Yeah.
I don't have a license yet, but I
Yeah.
have to do this to get my license.
Yep.
And so I'm like, what? Like, I get it safety wise, I guess, but
Yeah, so you don't just start going out and working without it, but at the same time, yeah,
I
it's one of these things. You know?
It's one of those
Yeah, it's one of
things.
those things. I don't even know what to say. I'm sure someone can school us on it to
Y-
why it needs to
y-
be that way. But
I would love to
we're
hear it.
yeah.
Would love to hear it. I will say too, I'll just put it out there. I'm a raging intersectional feminist. And a lot of that was moving here. I made that transition from uber conservative, obviously, coming from the Bible Belt and that whole environment, to seeing and educating and a lot of education, a lot of change. But now the should say maybe anti-patriarchal, but for me it was really deconstructing some of the views and ideas and things that are only the truth. And that's what led kind of into this, was the more that I kind of deconstructed the patriarchy, the more that I became a feminist, and which a feminist to me is just equality. I don't mean this in a man-hating way. Obviously, I'm married to a man. I
Yes.
love men.
I was gonna say I'm the opposite,
Yeah.
but this is why we're such good friends, because
Right.
we respect each other's opinions. And
Yes.
I am not a feminist in the traditional terms, because again,
Right.
beyond tradition,
Right.
but of course I would love equality for women in a lot of aspects of
Right.
business, and just feeling like they could be in any industry, not just
Yeah.
specific industries.
Yeah.
But
And that's really the
yeah,
inspiration for this, is
for
because we
sure.
are both women. We are both
Hmm.
leaders in our companies,
Yeah,
in trades that are male dominated.
for sure.
We deal with the microaggressions. We deal with the sexism. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
It is what it
Yeah.
is. And I know that there's kind of playing into that too. Well, I feel like every woman kind of does it, but playing into that to get our way. Number 3, I'm winning.
You are winning.
um, but on the flip side, because I had somebody tell me, they're like, well, all you got to do is give them a look and smile and they'll do whatever you say. And I'm like,
That works? What?
right.
It's like, man, I'd be running
That's funny
a
because
country right now
yeah.
if that was the case. Shoot.
Exactly. And I'm like, I wish. But no.
Man, all right. Well, I haven't heard that one.
I know.
My favorite is you'd be prettier if you smiled more.
Ooh.
That one's my favorite.
Quick way. Another little personality tweak, whatever you want to call it here. If you call me honey, sweetie, Missy.
Missy.
Oh.
Missy.
Oh yeah.
That's old. That's
Old.
old. Okay. I was gonna say, okay. That's a very specific
Yes.
generation.
I cannot. I will not. That is the one way to just set me into a blind rage, is being called those names. But again, I feel like kiddo. Those are
I
all
haven't heard that one for a while.
super like
Yeah.
those are the microaggressions that we deal with, and I know that happens across the board
I
too.
think that's
And
in every industry. But
yeah.
I again, I'm not feminist. I'm a God-fearing woman.
Yeah.
I'm Catholic. It is,
Yeah.
it is what it is. God is my light. Jesus is my savior. You
Right.
know that. I
Yes.
know that. But I noticed women are almost stepping it back, or like giving it back in a sense. Like I was out at breakfast the other day and a woman had said something to a man oh my gosh.
Number 3, we're tied.
Number 3. All right. She had kind of said, like, she called him like sweet pea or something.
Oh.
And I was just like, wait, what? And then I didn't want to assume, obviously never assume.
Never
'Cause I was
assume
like,
anything.
maybe that is her sweet pea.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, even the guy was like, that was weird. And I was like, well, like, I don't know.
Maybe
what
you
to
should
say.
smile more.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sorry.
I will never say
I know. Well, so that's the thing, is I feel like we would never, like, it doesn't even come to mind to say stuff like
not
that,
at all.
right?
I also don't use endearments or
No, I
whatever,
don't either.
I've never.
Same.
So I think even friends, relationships,
Yeah.
nothing. You know what I mean? There hasn't been. They're
Same.
like, hey, babe.
Hey, babe.
We're gonna
Is
we're
that
gonna
trauma?
End the show.
Is
No,
that
I don't think so. I just think you like. I don't know.
Should we talk to our therapist?
Probably. Probably. No, I think I think it works for some people. And for me, it's just never been
Yeah.
my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
Yeah.
And I think that this podcast is going to work so great because you and I are the same yet opposites.
Yes, exactly.
It's like
We run our businesses the same.
yes,
We have the
we run
same
our
mentality.
lives
Yeah,
the
we run
same
our lives the same way with just a little bit of different beliefs
belief
and
system.
values. And that's
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm.
That's what makes us friends.
I know.
Best
And that's
friends.
what
Yeah.
beyond tradition, our
Yeah.
name comes from the fact that
Yeah.
traditionally males own companies like ours.
Yes.
So we're here to be, move beyond that. Show that there is women in the field that can do
Yeah.
these things, run these companies.
Hopefully we can reach men too. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? If
and be
if they
successful.
feel that they want to break into a different field that's not the norm, like they
For
don't want a
sure.
construction company,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
So hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, I think I text you when this happened.
Oh no. What did I say? No, just
No, 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 no,
kidding.
no. No, 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 no. It was really I was fuming because I think, I had joined a group, mentor group. It was very beneficial in that I was surrounded by other owners of plumbing companies.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this.
And the information there, we were all helping each other grow. It was
Hmm.
really great. Um, I was the only woman,
Okay.
which again,
Yeah.
beyond tradition.
So true. So true. I don't know many other female plumbing
Owners.
contractors or
Yeah.
owners of the
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
So
So,
that's kind of I was in that and I recognized in conversation and multiple conversations, I should say, that a lot of these owners had partners that were running the house, but also had a hand in their business. They were also taking phone calls or scheduling or marketing for them. And so, on top of running their house, they're also putting time and effort into the business to be successful,
yeah.
a huge support system.
Hmm.
We're not owners in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me,
Hmm.
again, beyond tradition, this is likely an unpopular opinion, but to me, um, there's no way. I mean, and this even happened with my insurance guy, workers' comp insurance. Big mistake. Big mistake on my part. One of our biggest mistakes.
Yeah. I go over this with contractors.
No, he didn't realize that I was an owner.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But you
So
were signing the paper.
I
Like you were
was
signing
signing
the documents.
everything. Love him to death. He's one of my favorite people too. That's the thing. Love him to death. But I didn't recognize because I wasn't in the field. So I thought workers' comp exemption is for mostly the guys in the field. So of course I filed Trevor's workers' comp exemption. I never filed one for myself.
Gotcha.
He never thought to tell me that. He had no idea I was an owner. Conversation with him. And I looked and I'm like, dude, do you think I would be running this company and have my hands so involved if I was not 50%? And he goes, honestly, I never thought twice about it. And so again, that's really these stories happen and we see them so often.
Hmm.
And I actually saw a story on social media before that, of course, this is a very traditional role. Man owns the company, wife is at home.
Hmm.
Man wants the wife to stay at home and take care of the kids, take care of the house.
Yeah. And if she's good with that, that's fine.
100%.
Throwing that out there. You know what I
100%.
mean? I
If you're
have
cool with
lots of
that.
stay-at-home moms that absolutely love it, wouldn't trade it for the world. So there are a lot of women, and kudos to you guys because that is a full-time job
Kudos.
itself.
100%.
You never get a break.
That's a lot.
Ever.
But that's
So.
in my entire point was she asked for 50% of the company or 49%, I
Yeah.
think really what it was. And she was getting backlash from family and friends because she had made that request. And I said, that's really only fair. But the mindset is not
Mm.
there societally. For you and I,
Yeah.
we don't think like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's a very different business mindedness.
Hmm.
For her, she was protecting herself. And I 100% back her, 100% agree with it.
I think all of it really, I agree. I think her standing up for herself, or not standing up for herself, but wanting to,
Equality
yeah,
or
just,
equity.
yeah, equity in the company because again, her sweat equity is going behind the scenes, giving him that luxury of being able to run his business and supporting him. And again, these roles could be,
Yeah.
swapped out where if she's running the company, we know
Yes.
women that run their companies and their husbands, son of a bitch. So you can leave that in there
Yeah, leave
and
that in there. We're gonna roll with it.
yeah, but yeah, it's one of those, I know husbands that stay at home and they support their wives,
Mhm.
either careers or their
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I think it's a tricky game, you know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of different situations when it comes to it, like
Mhm.
if it's a team
Team
effort. It's a
effort.
team effort.
100%.
I think maybe it's different if you meet an entrepreneur,
Yes.
and that person, male or female, is already doing their own thing, and
Mhm.
then you want them
Give
to
up.
to
Yeah.
give it up or to stay home. I think there's going to be a lot more talk on the table
Ooh,
because
100%.
someone's giving up their, what they've built.
Oh,
So yeah.
that's one of the hardest
Yeah,
things.
but I
Like,
feel like you and Trev have been married so long.
yeah.
You were babies when you got married. So
Yeah.
it's one of those that
Yeah.
if you created something together, you
Yeah.
talked about it, you decided how you were going to do this,
Mhm.
and how whose job was what and
Yeah.
how you guys were going to keep each other accountable.
Right.
But then again, you both got equity in the company.
Right.
So,
And I think
yeah.
the big point to that is having that conversation,
Yeah.
but also knowing to have that conversation because again, it's a mentality and
Mhm.
I will say that it's ingrained in us
Oh yeah, for
because of
sure.
society that, we hear again, this can go both ways, but we hear the woman wants to stay home
Yeah.
or the man wants the woman to stay home. And the line I always hear too is the man is supporting his wife and kids.
Mhm.
Yes, to a degree, if you're
Yeah.
just speaking financially,
Yeah.
yes, that's what he's doing.
Mhm.
Um, taking the other side of that coin though is the fact that that woman is providing all of that labor on the
Mhm.
back end of things, right? Um, without her there, he would have to put more mental energy and more work into running his household.
Right.
So that's where the teamwork comes from. I think that it's the overarching the tradition that man is supporting his wife. She gets to stay at home and eat bonbons or whatever, or take care of the kids. If you've ever stayed at home, you know how hard that is. I'll tell you that I was a stay at home
Mhm.
for
I think
about
we all
3 months.
Yeah, I made about I think 9 months. And then I
Whoo!
was like, "Okay, I got
I'm
to work."
out. It
Yeah.
is not for me. I
Yeah.
cannot.
It is a full-time
It
job. You
is.
never get a break cuz
Literally. Hats off
yeah.
to those who do it
Mhm.
because it is
100%.
so hard. And I will say another kind of learning or tool for education was, and I don't know if you've read it or watched it. It's actually, I think it's on Hulu now, but it's called Fair Play. And it's written by a woman, but it just talks about the mental load. And I think a lot of people take for granted the mental load
Oh,
of
yeah.
running a house and kids
For
and
sure. 100%.
groceries and,
Yeah.
cooking dinner isn't just cooking dinner.
I don't care to cook.
We
I
don't.
like to grill. I'll
Neither one
grill.
of us
Yeah,
do.
I will grill a mean steak.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoying being in the kitchen isn't
Mm.
in my
Used to be.
wheelhouse. Really?
I used to love it.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
Baking cakes,
Yeah.
everything from scratch. I
No.
made homemade butter.
No, homemade anything for me comes from like a box. Like, thank you. I
Right?
add eggs and butter and mix it and like
Good
throw
job.
it in the oven.
Oh, I'm telling you, like,
Yeah,
layered cakes from scratch,
that's amazing.
icing
You
scratch,
couldn't
butter
pay
scratch.
me.
Like,
There's not enough money you could pay me
I'm telling
to
you.
do
So that's it.
that.
I feel like
Yeah. No.
mine kind of growth was I
Yeah.
was that. I've done that. I understand that. I guess for me, I didn't have the words to describe how tired it makes you or how exhausted you truly are running a household in every
Yeah.
single aspect.
Because there's always something to do.
It's 24/7.
It's never like there's not something to do.
Right.
Or honestly, maybe there are. Maybe some women are on it. Maybe I just wasn't one of them,
I don't know, man.
But when you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like there's always something that needs
Always
to be done.
24/7.
Yeah.
And if it's not the house and if it's not food, like why do I have to decide what we're going to eat every day for the
For
rest of our
breakfast and
life?
lunch and dinner.
Why is that on me? I don't know why that's on me, but
Mhm.
that's why DoorDash, when we were starting our
Yeah.
company,
That's funny.
I was so exhausted. Same. That's when I lost my entire.
Yeah.
I used to cook. I used to do all the Girl, I used to throw down in the kitchen. Started these businesses. No, I had no more
Yeah.
mental capacity to
Yeah.
handle.
Well, to read a recipe and to like put it all
Oh,
together. Yeah,
oh,
no.
and put the grocery list together and go get the
You have a
groceries.
grocery list? That's cute. Good for you. I'm like, that looks good.
Yeah, order. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
but
like,
that
this is
DoorDash
great.
became such a problem for us. It was so bad, but
Yeah.
that was just because
Yeah.
I didn't have the capacity to handle that anymore. And I felt bad. There was a lot of like kind of shame and guilt in that. But then that's what
Yeah.
therapy
Again,
is
I
for.
think yeah. Well, and I also think there's everything. I feel like everything's a blip. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think we've talked about this
Yeah.
before. Everything's a moment. I call them
I
moments.
like that.
And so everything's a moment, and sometimes it sucks, sometimes it doesn't. But look, you're not doing that anymore. It was just that moment in
Yeah.
time. And then you look back and you're just like, oh, wow, like we made it though.
We did.
We made it.
That's what we had to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I look back on. I was like, well, we're all still alive.
Yeah.
So we're,
And we're
yeah,
thriving.
exactly. Yes. So, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think there's quite a few stories like that that we'll talk about in regards to, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
name. We at least wanted to explain the name, kind
Yes.
of where we're coming from.
And two different opinions or
100%.
not opinions, perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
two different perspectives.
Right.
And then, yeah, just kind of explaining why,
Yes.
the wheres, the whens, all of it. So,
Yeah. I
and,
mean,
we're going to hopefully teach either entrepreneurs more,
mhm.
and then they can avoid all of our mistakes along the way. Because, all we're doing is learning every day.
100%.
Or teach and maybe empower the spouse of an entrepreneur to, oh, I just botched that.
Oh,
To
sounded
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly. To maybe teach them and have a little bit of understanding how to run a business. And so they can understand where that person's coming from. Because again,
Yes.
we talked about the wife staying home, but now
Yeah.
talk about the person who just grinded all day long,
Mm-hmm.
trying to make money, trying to find new clients, trying to, or making
Right.
sure that they're pulling enough in to not only provide financially for their household, but all their employees' households.
Yes.
And so,
It's
that's a mental load in itself. And
right.
I think, again, the balance, it's a tricky balance. And I think from both sides need to be respectful of that other person,
100%.
and then just kind of figuring out how much you can handle in
Mm-hmm.
your relationship.
Yeah, and I think that
So,
goes kind of in waves too. Like
oh
there are going
yeah.
to be times when obviously I just went through a huge health crisis.
Yeah.
Um and I was in bed. I was bedridden for
Yeah.
2.5 months,
Trevor had to
right?
step up. He had to do
He
like
had to
almost
do
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's so happy you're back.
Yes. I will say quite a few things didn't get done within the business, but that is
But
what
you
it
know what?
is. Yes.
He tried, and
He
again,
was
but
only
he
one
was,
person.
yeah, and he's running all of your employees, getting jobs
Right.
completed. So I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
100%.
for
So
sure,
definitely think that's a wave. You're gonna have ups and downs.
for
It's
sure.
not always it's not always 50-50. I'll say that.
No,
And
no.
sometimes it's even 100-100,
Yeah.
right? With
Oh
what
yeah.
you've got going on.
For sure, because it's almost like divide and conquer in certain
Mhm.
moments. Again, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
just divide and conquer, and we just have to get this done.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Well, looks like we're wrapping up.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Welcome to Beyond Tradition.
Yeah, our very first one.
Very first
So
episode.
if you liked us, I guess subscribe to us, like us. We're gonna be on all the social platforms,
Mhm.
or we are on all the social platforms.
Yeah.
So
Building our following,
yeah,
getting started. We're
trying to
new.
just get out there, and hopefully we can provide some great content.
Yeah, great content
Yeah,
for everyone.
yeah, entertaining content. It's only gonna get better
Prepare
from
for
here.
some cuss words. We're going to
Yeah,
do our best, but
yeah. You're gonna try. You're gonna try your hardest.
awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah, you too.
That was great.
Bye.
Bye.